クリアします。今日こそは。ていうかゲームのボリューム上、音乗ってるよね。ゲームのボリューム上多分。
We darn near celebrated when the kid got back, didn't we?
4人揃ったんだよな、銀融詩人。
Zolf never thought he'd see a fellow Ura again. We become fast friends. Calamity has that effect on people. But there was more to be done. There was one last core to find. A scientific journal written in Zolf's native tongue. He learned so much from it. Too much. If only I'd known half the secrets of the Calamity were tucked away in that book, I'd have worked to translate it right away. Most of the Ura never got a taste of Caelondia's fine goods, unless they were born and raised in the city like Zia here. Sure, the world's all gone to pieces farther than the eye can see. But leave it to this gal to point out the amazing view. Girl tried to run away from home one time, but the marshals stopped that, didn't they? So many secrets in there and she can't even read it. Her father's own journal. Been meaning to put up some guardrails.
まだセットしてないんだ。
Kid's surprised when I tell him there's only one core left. I shouldn't have believed it either. Behold, the Pantheon. A Kobe.
これいらねえよな。セットして増やす。でも 5% しか上がんないんだよ。いらないいらない。
We track the final core beyond the city to the wilds.
ファイナル。
The wild unknown. Place can eat a man alive. Place is so raw, even the Calamity couldn't cook it. Not all of it.
レデゴ。何隠し場所
Know what's better than having a slinger pistol in a fight? Having two.
連打をすると早打ち。
Savage things lurking at every turn.
うわ、食らってるから、食らってるから、食らってる。
Good thing pin cushions can't see where they're shooting. Pecker's got the core, like they're building a bastion of their own. The welcoming committee scrambles to attention. Didn't expect the kid so soon. They shouldn't have let their guard down. Getting that core was one thing. Getting out's gonna be another. He digs his way out of the clearing. but the wilds won't let him go without a fight. Wallflowers survived the calamity.
え
It toughened him up.
Hey.
All too easy to lose one's way out in the wilds.
なんもないの？食らってる。ここまで来させといてなんもない。
Best take it real slow when pincushions are afoot. A handful of windbag shipments made it out this far. Kid's seen the last of them.
Huh?
Pow gives a wallflower a taste of its own medicine. Kid's faster than a slinger with those guns. Don't ever turn your back on a pincushion.
Okay.
Jawson's boys left all kinds of stuff out here.
Yeah.
Then Kid gets the feeling he's being watched. Not by me, by a lunkhead. And lunkheads ain't fond of two-legged animals.
こいつどうすりゃいいの？カウンター
Hit him anywhere but the hindquarters and he only make him mad.
あ、前面が効かないんだ。えい。うわー。
Hardly any signs of the old Jawson camp. Wild green vine apples about the only good thing out here. The Wilds already reclaimed this place.
あ、これあれだな。アップグレードだな。
He's anxious to get back. After all, he's got the final core. His journey's over, right? Well, no, it ain't. Not by a long shot. Kid knows something's up when we ain't there to give a warm welcome. See, Zolf and I were just wrapping up a heated discussion. Zolf can barely muster the words. The calamity failed, he says, but I will not. And with that, Zolf leaves us here, alone. Zolf banged up the monument pretty bad. But there's a way to put her back together. The shards. We're gonna need all of them to nurse the Bastion back to health. Takes a lot of moving pieces to make a dependable sidearm.
全然経験値がないでね。
Kid takes another drag, goes out like a light.
稼ぎに行くか。
There's something you should know about the kid, but let me take it from the top.
あ、武器変えとけばよかったな。
Past catches up with the kid. Hardly had a moment's rest since all this started. Fair to say he's led a hard life. Supposing what he says in his sleep ain't no lie.
慣れたもんやね。
He never knew his old man, but he had his mama to take care of. Frail thing with pure white hair like his. Having his mama's hair did the kid no favors while he was growing up, but he learned to hold his own out there.
うわ。ああ、落ちちゃった。いや、嘘。
School ain't working out, so the kid signs up for a turn on the rippling walls. Make his mama some money. Thanks to folks like the kid, the walls kept Ceylondia safe from whatever's out there. The elements, the Ura, you name it. Once the kid done his time, he hurried on home. Turns out his mama's time was done
またレ
too.
ベル上がらんのか。うわ、でっか。はい、よし。ああ、うっとしい。
The city had nothing for him. The money he'd been sending home was nowhere to be found either.
あ、こいつらやらせればいいんだ。おお。
So what'd the kid do? Why, he went right on back to the walls for another 5 years. In the history of Ceylondia, nobody's ever volunteered for a second shift on the walls.
うわ、お前突進してくれたやつ。おい、ふざけるな。ふざけ。
Out there, kid learned to fend for himself, learned to build, learn to break.
やべ。何をやってるんだお前は。
In time, the kid earned good standing with the marshals. They trusted him to scout out farther than anybody. One night, on one of his expeditions, the ground beneath him shuddered, cracked, and split apart.
なんで落ちるの？てかこんなミニになってますこれバカが。
He saw nothing where the world used to be. The calamity happened just like that.
やばい。まずお前おったんか。やべえ、もうかかない。
All the kid had to work with was his hammer and the clothes on his back.
もうそっちょうだい。どこ？こんなしょうもないゴミになんで落ちるの？
Through twisted streets, he ran with nothing but the city crest and an old stranger's voice to guide him.
うわ。あ、よしねえや。一緒やばいな。なんてことやってるの？うわ。なあ、それはだ、ひどい。あ、ハメだわ。あ、よしねえや。当たんない。おい、なんでそんなに移動しねえんだよ。おかしいだろこれ。 まあ当たんねえんだよねこれぐらいちっちゃくなって。軽投げに攻撃してきやがってよ。
Well, he finally arrived at Ceylandia's vaunted safe haven. He and no one else.
スタートさん。潰し合う。なんでなんで。じゃあまず1、3匹。
But then, all they got was more thankless work from a man who ain't even asked his name. Sure, I may be the one who dreamt up the walls and the Bastion, but the kid made them real, not me. I'd like to say I'll never forget him, or what he's doing, what he's done. I surely would.
Yes. これで武器強化できるわ。レベル上がってる。ヘルストニックで体力回復。
If you're feeling low, count on the buttery flavor of our own Bastion bourbon. Want to stay alive in the wilds? Pack a pair of pistols and a good blade. He's made a right comfortable bed for all those bullets. Zulf cursed the city, cursed the Bastion, cursed me, said he was going home. When Zulf got through reading that journal, he just snapped, started smashing up the monument till I tried to stop him.
ゾルフはどこじゃい。
The city brought the shards to the wilds. Now the kid's gonna bring them back. You have to think fast to survive the wilds, and none thought faster than the slingers. They could shoot their pistols with the speed of a machine.
ちゃいいやん。
They knew just when to start shooting and when to stop. Those pistols could spit out rounds just as quick as you could pull the trigger.
Natural のあれだな。
Learning to hold your fire could be its own challenge.
ナチュラルな反射神経。当たんねえな。今のは早い。
The slingers were much quicker than the average
え、
pistol
なんで
here.
3等なの今のだよ。は
The slingers could plug you full of holes faster than you could say draw.
いや、遅かった今のだよ。
The slingers like to edge each other out using customized pistols.
これ遅い。
Eventually, it all comes down to reflexes.
これ以上無理なんだが。あ、今のは若干遅いか。
No matter how fast you are, you can always get
わ
faster.
かんねえ。何点？何点？え、500点以上取ってるんだけど。なんでそんな。は？一発でくれよ。500点以
Just
上
because
取っ
you're
てたんだな。
fast don't mean you gotta be reckless.
は？なんで何回もやらされるの？今520点やったんだけど、なんで一等賞もらえないの？わけがわからん。うまいよな普通に。ただ下手だな。うまい。うまい。うわ。はあ、楽勝なんだか。え、なんで二等賞なの？え、わけわかんない。え、500点以上取ってるんだけど。これバグじゃない？ちょっと待って、これバグじゃない？なんで？わけわからん。ググっていい？これバグなんだ。バグだとしたら許せんな。
Well, even the slingers weren't quick enough to escape the calamity.
これバグじゃん？紐らしきものいらないんだけど。 バグじゃない？ちょっと待って。ググっていい？なんで？なるほど。ちょっと待って。700点の5色なんだ。そうなんだ。
Dread rum's brewed from swamp weeds, so its effect is as bold as its flavor.
「連打が足らん」と。ちょっと待って。ロックオンって何ボタンだっけ？あ、これぐらいでいかないといけないんだ。これは全然甘いね。確かに。確かに俺は二等賞だった。いくでしょう。てか5色やめてくれ。あ、遅い。あ、遅いな。これぐらいだな。なんで押せないの？押せない。やめたい。押せなかった今。いやー、押せなかったのが痛いな。今押せてたらいけてたな。 早っ。あ、ちょっと遅い。あ、遅っ。なんで押せねえんだよ。あ、R 押しちゃってるからか。ダメだ。
I gotta
はい、
say,
余裕と。
kid's the fastest shot I ever seen.
R 押しちゃってたんだよ。というわけで。
He blew through slinger range like it was nothing.
意外と楽勝でした。
After Zolf's little episode, kid sets off in search of shards. First stop, Jawson Bog. You'll get lost in that bog, I told the kid, and I won't be able to guide you back. Well, I let him go. What else could I do? What could any of us do? Zolf put us in a real bind. Hurt the Bastion bad.
ゾルフの野郎許せね
But the shards can make it better. They're like smaller doses of the core's medicine.
え。ああ。
Shame the only place to fill that prescription is out here in the wilds. This place is intoxicating. Don't know where he's gone. Might be gone for good for all I know. Wherever he is, it's somewhere I've never been. Somewhere I never want to go.
うわ、なんだこいつら。なんだこれ。うわうわうわうわうわうわ、わけわかんねえ。めちゃくちゃ硬いんだけど。あ、サイレン。
The dead welcome him with open arms. Kid pops him good. That a survivor? No, ma'am. It's a lonesome ghost of a gas fella. What do you say to a kid who's seen too much?
あ、サレンダーや。
I'm Zolf of the Ura. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
みんなの記憶。
Now the kid sees something stranger still. Did anybody else survive?
またえらい歩きにくい。
Sure enough, he finds peckers, lunkheads, wallflowers, pincushions, vine apples, swamp weeds, ankle gators.
これなんで？ なんでなんでちょっとできる。なんで選ばせてくれないのこの攻撃対象。
Now the Bastion can send them even farther into the wild unknown.
カウンターメイクだ。さっさと逃げるか。全然助けてくれない。逃げる。
Kid sets foot inside one of Ceylandia's famous watering holes.
ソウルリグレットだってね。あ、これ最初のメインやな。
The security's just met the straight man. He's a petty thief.
Yeah. だめっちゃ強い。いややばい。いややばい。
Kid succeeds where the calamity failed. Would you look at what he did to poor old Ronnie the bartender? Proper story's supposed to start at the beginning. It's so simple with this one. Now here's a kid whose whole world's alright, snoozing there on a rock in the sky. He wakes up. I'm just fooling. He sees what's left of the rippling walls, years of work undone in an instant. He sees what's left of Piff, the bull. The gods, they're all undone. He sees what's left of his lifelong friend. His friend, he's come undone too. He sees what's left undone.
あ、この光のところについていけばいいの。でなんやねん。
Thought we'd lost him, but he finally comes to. Kid doubles back just in case he missed something.
Oh.
The shard ain't lost either. Not anymore. Now to find a ticket out of this hole.
何？
Disgusting things. Ever heard of a lung
な
blossom?
んだお前は。
It's bigger than the stories say. Bootlickers dig their nasty thorns into his heels. The breath on that thing, like a scumbag sprung a leak.
ガードしとればいい。They say one whiff of lung blossom can make you lose your mind. Well, the kid prunes it down to size somehow. Mother only knows what happened in the bog. Kid never much cared to speak of it. まだ目あるの?
A shard is like a poor man's core, but beggars can't be choosers. He ain't all that shy. Come on, give the little tyke a break. Ain't always much to say.
え、そんなにいるんだ。何これ？シャベル。シャベルじゃなくて。アイドルいらんな。でも一応ここか。
Finders keepers.
いらんけど。マジで。
The dynasty, to the families of the city, all reunited.
5000じゃん。
A sail hammer's only as strong as its spine. That's a strong spine. That's it. Few more shards like that, and we'll be back in business. A single shard can breathe new life into this place. The shard's got enough juice to spruce up any of these places.
破片を使ってディスティラリーを。
just the occasion to crack open the distillery's private reserve.
さらに強化できるですと。別にいらんな。もっと強化できんか。
The city tried to use the shards to stake out the wilds. So much for that plan.
民話によればここが伝説のアンクルゲーター女王が住む場所だという。結構面あるな。クリアするっていうタイトルにしたけどまだ全然ある。
Ankle gators used to roam the wilds, and they nested at Rothus Lagoon.
アリゲーター。
Many a tale folks used to scare their children straight originated here. All kinds of beasts we don't know up from down, still lurking about. Only the city's brushers knew their way around the lagoon.
スキニーデコイ。は？あー。なるほど。そうだよ。
These beasts, they don't like company.
うわ。こいつどうすりゃいいんだ。前からボールが当たらん。やべ、困った。いや、絶対食らうし。あいつどうすればいいんだ。むずいぞ、あいつ倒すの。全然役に立たない。クソの役に立たない、こいつ。
Even the brushers learned to fear this place.
Yeah. Okay.
They used to think that ankle gators were extinct.
いや、もうデコイやめたい。なんだなんだなんだなんだなんだなんだなんだなんだなんだ。
One of them's been living in the tall grass. They called her Queen Anne. Turns out Queen Anne got a hold of a shard. Ankle gators love shiny things. The lagoon's got plenty of other dangers, of course.
なんで？いた。なんで復活するの？わけわかんない。
Know what smells worse than an ankle gator's breath? A stinkweed. Ain't time for pecker hunting, but the kid can't resist.
Nice counter.
Can't can't fight Queen Anne without the proper tools. The brushers use their pikes to keep their distance around here. Now the kid can do the same.
あ、これで離れて。うわ、誰あんた。ゼロなんですよ。
They say you can't hurt an ankle gator unless it's raining. And it ain't raining. Sharp sticks make Queen Anne nervous, so she backs off a bit.
いやー、この槍使いにくいな。やめたいな。なるほど、陽気な。
Kid's got a mean throwing arm. Can't get hasty in a place like this. Those pin cushions have been living off the ankle gator's scraps.
カウンター取る方が楽やわ。
Queen Anne can't fit down some of these narrow paths.
うわ、邪魔くせ。
Queenie leads the kid into some kind of twisted trap. One bad step in that tall grass and he's Queen Anne's lunch. He holds his ground. Seems the Queen's running out of options. Still no sign of the shard.
スキニーデブやめたい。うわ。なんでこんな陽気な BGM なんだろう。カウンターなんてね。
The closer you get to an ankle gator's lair, the thicker the tall grass grows. Kid's gotta make a run for it. Those leaping lunkheads don't like Queen Anne any better than the kid. That old gator's right on his tail.
ゲータどついてんねんけど。
Bad idea to walk in gator grass.
はあなんですけど。でかんかってくるわけね。
Queenie must have scared a bunch of peckers out of hiding. Queen's got one mean bite.
Oh, なんなの？早くクソゲータ倒したいわ。
Ankle gators don't much care for their young. That's why there ain't many around.
クルゲーターの卵。正規ルートっぽいな。
Seems even stinkweeds know to stay away from the queen.
なんか尖ったもの。ああ。肉さ100倍だわ。絶対に殺すわ。
Wanna know how to find an ankle gator lair? You use a kid as bait.
あ、怖い。
Now she's coming for him. She's got nowhere else to go. The shard's sitting in plain view. They say if you run across an ankle gator, you better keep running. He's got it, and now to finish her off.
うわ。うわ。ああ、もったいない。お、当たり判定ある。
She's starting to get annoyed.
こいついいやつかもしらん。開いてるし。ああ、うざい。あ、来い。
And now he's made her mad.
ああ、ちょっと待って。
Rest in peace, Queen Anne. That was for the brushers.
クソザコがよ、冷めるな。 はい、クリエイト。
Kid's done what needed to be done. Queen Anne's reign is over. We even got a crown jewel. All that trouble for a single shard. But you know what? It was worth it.
増幅させるパターンに入ったな。
The arsenal's complete, in case we need protection.
何トラッパースネアって。ピストルと剣でしょ。あ、動かなくす。
They said Queen Anne was just a folktale. Now there's living proof she ain't.
でも絶対これ5レベルまであんだよ。
To fix a brusher's pike, you just need a good length of knife bark. Don't want that thing leaving your hands until you decide it's time.
材料はないんだ。絶対5レベルまであるこの枠は。
That gator's a crazy gal, but so is the gal who promised to look after her.
アンクルゲーター来た。おーんってくる。 それだけか。
The next shard should be farther out there in the wilds.
あー、むずそう。これは難しいぞ。絶対投擲だ。
To prepare for the wilds, Ceylandia's brushers practice at Camp Donce. Had to navigate a maze of pincushions with nothing but a pike.
キャンプダウンスイ
It's a dangerous test for a dangerous job.
てかこれ投げんでもよくない
Health tonics were off limits at Camp Donce. They said they made you weak.
回復できんあ、絶対これ貫通とかあるから。
Sometimes the course was brutal.
いや、いらないんだけど。何秒か見よう。てか、なんであれできないの
The rules said he couldn't use any fancy footwork, just your brains and your pike.
なんでローリングできないのラストワンのこれ無理じゃんいててててうわそっちか
Just getting through the course in one piece was an accomplishment.
まあでしょうね一旦戻って強化しようあれどうやって帰るの
You can see why the brushers prize those pikes of theirs.
てかなんでローリングできないの
Gotta make sure the pointy end's fastened on real tight.
場所分かってないのじゃダメだねてか多分1分だなこれ
The brushers were Ceylandia's field agents, and their training was harsh.
むずいぜこれは3つあってあやりなし分かったとにかく場所
Prep for the course, the brushers could modify their pikes however they wanted.
いてててて
There wasn't time to squash every pincushion, just the ones in the way. If you did all right at Camp Bouncy. You got to go to the wilds.
何言ってんだろうな。だよな。わかる。むずくないこれ。いてててててててて。多分走り抜けるパートも必要なんだよな。なんでそんなに振らないの？いや絶対60秒なんて無理だ。場所わからんっていうか、なんか最適なルートがあるはずなんだよ。あとどこ？てかこの爆発使えるのは死んだ時だ。あとどこだ？どこ？そもそも場所がわかんない。
Once you started the course, they made you finish.
やり方によってはいけるな。もう無理やけど。でも諦めるの早くない？ちょっと待って、今生き方がまずかっただけでいけてたな。このご利用していけるわ、なんとか。これで強引突破する。なんで忘れてるんだよ。強引突破する。ダメか。さっきいけてたな。なぜいけたんだ。てか槍のさジャストのタイミングがわかんね採点とかでやっちゃった。なんでそんなに食らうのってか、おっそ。ジャンプできなくしてんの意地悪だな。ナチュラル。いけたっしょこれ。ダメだったんだ。着実にいっときゃいけた。右から行って、今死なないようにいったら15秒残りあったもんね。いけたわ。投げてちゃダメ。ここはよって。なんで爆発しなかったの今。なんか今無敵時間無駄にしたし。いやなんか今ね不正があった。最初のやつおかしいやな。なんで押せねえんだよ。取ってないからか。ざけバカ。こっちなんだよな多分。時に限って歩くの遅いんだよね。おかしいでしょ。やばい。いや、いけんくない？そんなの無理だわ。不便。この武器マジで嫌い。ダメだなこの武器。俺嫌いだわ。死ぬわけにいかなくて。届け。一回閉める。いけるぞ。
The good enough run at Camp Dauncey could get you promoted to captain on the spot.
許してくれないのこれで。こいつ死んだら元も子もなくない？まあ多分正義のこれ方法じゃないけど言いました。ざーす。まあクリアしてしまえばこっちのもんなんでありがとうございます。
The wilds ain't so scary now, are they?
ああ、ローリングができる幸せ。ポイントレメイン。
Know how Ceylandia became the richest city in the world? 2 words. Point Lemaine. If the wild could ever be tamed, it was gonna happen right here. But now, the greatest outpost past the city line is nothing but a freak show. The army's triggers once had the place on lockdown. Kid might as well pick up where they left off. Blam!
Wow.
Just like my fighting days. Gun like that can even put the wilds in check.
強っ。てか馬を。
Point Lemaine seen better days for sure, but it ain't done. Whole place shudders in a fit. The grand rail of Point Lemaine. Not only is it still there, it still works. Of course, it's no longer shipping hides and alloys and spices, but it can give the kid a lift. Just as long as he can stay clear of the trouble on the tracks. Grand rails all grown over with things the Calamity chewed up and spat out. Things eager to take back their turf. Kid lets a few of them slip by. Not much wiggle room up there near the rail. Lunkheads settled in like they own the place.
いやー強い。こいつどうやって倒すのが正式なの？逃げるが勝ち？落下させるこいつ。
Takes fancy footwork on the rail, what with wallflowers, coughing fungus everywhere.
Oh, なんだよこいつ。わけわかんねえ。あ、回復できない。終わった。負けた。こいつどうやって倒せばいいんだ。
Ceylandia lost many good men on the rail.
いや、わかんないこの倒し方。い やわかんねえ千葉。当たんねえんだけど攻撃。
Only one way to cure a cough like that.
死んだんだけど。ああもううっとしい。いやこいつの威力が弱い。ダメだこれ使えね。カービィなんか一生使わないわ。あ変えて。おいクソガエルが来た。これしかないよね確かにね。クソガエル。
Place used to be closed off, but now it's split open like a rotten pineapple.
クソガマガエルの倒し方。はい。
Of course, the Grand Rails see much more fighting in bygone times.
普通にアングリーピーターですね。あ
Near on 50 years ago, first shots fired in the Ura-Selamian War.
いやありがてえわ。マチェットの改造。ナイス。
It was right here that Zolf's Ura forefathers decided to mix it up.
クソしましまいくよ。あいててて。もったいないの。てか BGM ないんだわ。そうか。これさ、どうやって倒せばいいの？これが正しいのかい？
Okay, so maybe we didn't get their sign off on the whole Grand Rail thing.
ほら。
That was bad.
まずい。だーひどい。おいそこに復帰させるか。タイミングだろ。このクソドキだ。
The rail must have shook the Ura to the bone down in those dens of theirs. Well, the rail won't last much longer now that the kid took the shard. It's still got one good run in store for him, though. All the rotten wood there on the rails turned it into swamp weed central. Ever tried dancing side to side while holding your breath? While choking on swamp weed? While peckers trying to prick you in the eye? Well, let me tell you, it ain't fun.
まずいまずいまずい。もう毒回ってる。
But then at last, it's the end of the line. He'll be picking swamp weed out of those boots for days.
はい。
Turns out he's got company up at the rail station, waiting for him.
どうやって倒すのが正しいの？こうやって倒すのが正しい。
Not just another wallflower or pincushion, mind you.
あ、食らってるし。
At first, he thinks it's Zulf.
あ、ズルフ。
Turns out he's wrong.
我何しとんのよ。
This is for you, says the man. Then wham!
何？ぶん殴られた。ひどくない？
When the kid comes to, the man's long gone. But something else is there. The only words kid recognizes on that parchment are for Zia.
ジアにこれを読ませると。
Well, what's a kid to do? He took the shard, he took the hit, and he took that note. That note cuts straight to the heart of things, don't it? It ain't too late to unlock the potential of this place. Ain't saying much, but that's the greatest forge in all the city.
きたー。
Takes a careful touch to rattle those bones like that. A solid frame can put an extra sting in every slice. That's the way to make every shot count.
うわー、もうすぐ多分ドバーっとくれるわ。やばくないこれ。適切な1箇所から射撃で10体以上の敵を撃破する。体力が 20% になることないからな。
Finding gourmet ingredients ain't easy these days, but we'll take what we can get.
ジアって女の子ちゃんだよね。
The note says it plain. Zia, go east to learn the truth about the calamity and our people. I'll be waiting. Sincerely, Zulf. Zolf's messenger was one of his people. Wonder just how many of them survived, and what exactly Zolf told him. Kid arrives just in time to sample Zia's famous cooking. He wolfs down too much too fast, and it all goes to his head.
二面か。
I've said a lot about the kid, but he ain't the only one wrapped up in all this. What's he thinking? Let me see if I got this straight. I only heard it once. Once there was a normal Ura girl, but she wasn't born in the Tassel terminals like the rest of her people. She was from Ceylondia.
こいつの倒し方わかんない。
Her folks were orphaned in the war, taken in and raised inside the city, on condition they would never return to the terminals. Ura refugees who came into the city had to stay for life. It was a way to reduce the risk of city secrets leaking out.
やばいやばいやばい。
Her mama passed away from birthing complications, leaving the girl trapped inside that city with no one but her father. Her father was sharper than a brusher's pike, so he got a job working for the city's mancers. His daughter barely saw him.
うわ肩嫌だわこれ。いやこのパターンで来られたらまずいな。
Her father told her nothing of her Ura heritage. He told her nothing of the mancers. It's for your own good, he said.
Hey.
She took to studying the arts, learned more through music than history books, gained a knack for strings and songs.
まだ13枚。うわうわこれ地味にダメージ免れんな。最後
At first, she tried to be like other girls, but her classmates spread word that her father was an Ura trader, selling out the city.
うわ、何？知らないあれやめて。あ、これでカウンターできる。あれ？
One young man stood up for her, or so he led her to believe. He knew much of her heritage, and she grew fond of him.
うわ、お前か。なんで当たんねえの？可愛いもんだな。あ、ちょっと早い。隙がなくなってきた。
The young man convinced her to take him to her family den to meet her father. Spoke of how he wanted to meet a man from the terminals.
うわ、何ゴミ。
When the young man greeted her father in the Ura's native language, her father flew into a fit of rage and threw them out.
またおみやんかい。うわ。うわ、2匹だぜこれ。今タイミング違った。ずらしてきやがった。早く行きたいの絶対に。走ね。なんだったの？
The young man never told her that the Ura's native language is not to be used by foreigners. To do so is a terrible insult.
Yeah. マジテリブル。
It was then that she decided to escape. The two of them could flee the city together and go to the Tassel terminals. They would hide inside a garbage bin until it got ingested by a scumbag, then let him slosh on out of the city for disposal.
ああ、2匹か。こうなってくると厳しいな。いや、もうこれになってくるよね。1匹になったら余裕だな。そしたら削り合い。早く。もう気長にやっていけばいい。なぜ1匹。わお。
Her plan almost succeeded, but the authorities were already there when that scumbag sidled up to the city walls.
どれくらい？あと5か。うわ。うわ。こいつらクソ厄介だな。羽飛ばしてくる系か。
The young man had sent the authorities a tip, told him her father was using her to sell secrets to the Tazzle terminals.
おかしいわよ。
She and her father were arrested for treason, but her father got a deal. Returned to work for the Mansers, and she'd go free.
こっちから枠のなしにしてよ。
Before they parted ways for the last time, her father whispered a desperate plea. Hurry home to the den and lock yourself in.
やばい、取られた。ちょっとずるい。うわ、このゴミかよ。
She did as she was told, and deep down underground inside that den, she found a journal written in her father's hand.
最後の敵は俺か。うわ、2匹。早めに1匹にした。なんで3匹も出てくるの？まず1匹。あ、やばい。攻撃されるんだ。
The next day, the door to the den turned to ash. The girl came up for air, and she saw the calamity all around her.
あんまり経験値ゲットできんな。
When the kid wakes up, his world's still in pieces, just the way he left it.
いや。もう一面ぐらい行こうか。
The shards are getting harder to find. Caelandia's army only took the best, and the best of them trained on Trigger Hill. The Triggers believed they were nothing without their rifles. Nothing beats the feel of shooting a Caelandian army carbine. Sometimes you had to take care to steady your shot. The Triggers had clearance to modify their guns however they chose. Some felt the course was too easy, so the Triggers spiced things up a bit. The kid ain't bad, but the Triggers were better.
何秒 ?35 秒いけそうだな。結構戸惑ってた。
If you want to master the art of the firearm, then the place to go is Trigger Hill.
敵のダメージ気にしなくていいね。ちょっと待って、このファイヤーフラワーも標的だと思ってなかった。
Kid blows through that course like it was nothing.
あ、やった。鳥がゲットした。
The hill's quite a bit steeper now that the calamity's had its way.
これでさらに経験値をゲットできるぞ。
The Caelandian army would have recruited him in a flash.
へえ、教えてくれるんだ。
The service for all the men and women who serve Caelandia. The Triggers, my brothers, bravest men I ever
使っ
knew.
ていこっかな。体力が 20% 以下の時に近接攻撃でボウとハンマー使っていく。あんまり同じやつばっかり使っていてもあれだよね。
Ain't much kid can't handle with hammer and bow in hand. Arrows like that can practically find their own way. Now we're looking at some serious firepower.
てかガンうますぎないもんね。こんなに
Even the army never issued carbines in such fine shape.
倒したって才能があるガンも。
Not everything blew up in the calamity. Why, Colford Cauldron here blew up way ahead of its time. cauldron boiled over some 300 years ago. They say it filled the skies with ash and the lakes with molten rock. If you wanted to survive something like that, you had to learn to adapt.
いや、ここめちゃくちゃ相性悪いわ。
So in a way, the beasts of the wilds, they're all survivors too. It takes a certain stubborn pride to keep on living in a place like this. As for us, we learned an awful lot from Culford Cauldron. That learning led to some interesting inventions. The raw power of the world fell right into our hands.
あ、そっち系の武器なんだ。
Playing with the cauldron's fires became an addiction.
やりにくいな。こいつら埋まってんねんけど。来いや。なんで来えへんの？いまいち射程があるし。この食い声やめたい。使いにくい。使いにくいわ。 このフィールド。こいつら埋まってんのにかかってくる。
Sure, we dusted off a good many secrets out here. But we discovered other things we're better off not
う
knowing.
わ、
The unforgiven scent of sulfurous dirt.
うわ。
The taste of air so hot it sticks to your lungs.
君たちの来る基準がわからない。しつこい毒やな。この麺嫌いやわ。なんで食らうねん。ああ。ブレイカーズ。てか3人の敵倒してないんだ。
All sorts of awful things crawling underfoot. You can cook those things, but you can't eat them. Never thought we'd find so much life in all that
ペッカ
ash.
ーの巣というのは。あ、コレクターズアイテム。てかリロード遅すぎるわ。これ鍛えたら強そうだな。
We kept on sifting through the cauldron's secrets anyway.
いや、ただこれあかんわ。
The more ash we swept aside, the more life we found.
いや、HP 減らしてカウンターって言ったら
Place as inhospitable as they come. But still, we pressed on.
Bruh.
After all, when we look down inside Colford Cauldron, look down through all the smoke and flames.
ここでカウンター取ろうかな。回復を。これでいこう。あ、ミスった。やばい、まずい。あかんの。カウンターで倒したんやけど。
We saw in there the heart of the world, the heart now laid bare by the calamity. We had to have it. As for the kid, he just has to get that shard out of there. Too bad taking that thing woke up every last stink eye from here to Charleston Bog. Kid's thinking he's got to trek all the way back around the cauldron. Luckily, the cauldron cooked up a little shortcut for him.
Okay.
Sure, it ain't the most convenient path. Biggest stink eye he's ever seen's waiting for him on the other side. Well, it ain't polite to stare.
A なんか人倒れてへん。あれ石か。
And where there's one stink eye, there's always more. The cauldron's tenants all gather up to bid the kid a fond farewell. Kid don't shed any tears for him, though.
ハンマースカンは
With a good spyglass, you can still see the cauldron from the city, but all the fires died out. There's nothing left of it.
これは経験値うまいぞ。魂が少ない。
It comes back looking like the inside of a chimney. We're all a little short on friends these days, so that's a welcome sight.
コペッカ。
The culture, a still life of old unwanted keepsakes.
近接攻撃か。遠隔だったもんな。なるほど。それは失礼いたしました。これ何 ?1 回の敵への攻撃で少なくとも70ダメージあと、70ダメージまでいってない。
The breakers, ain't no one can outrun them,
これいけそう
or
だ
their
な
arrows.
まだ70ダメージ出せる域にないな。
They said the wild could never be tamed. If only they could see us now.
赤よし。
We could have a fine old cookout with that stuff. Too bad that's not the plan. The shard works like a charm. You can hear the monument's heartbeat again.
まずこれなような気がする。
The memorial may be finished, but our part is far from over. The inspiration, a forge can fashion anything.
これ簡単じゃない？これある程度硬い的に打ち込まないとダメだな。
The city, its riches nothing but fragments now. Sometimes I want to ask him, why do any of this?
めちゃくちゃ経験値入る。
I don't want to know.
「強靭な暴言をまっすぐに打ち砕く柄のある面」。何を言ってんの？装甲度外視の攻撃。
He put some finishing touches on the business end of that thing. When you've got a solid balance, you've got what you need. It's no longer a weapon, it's a precision instrument. At least it won't get cold around here with that thing around. On the inside, a fire bellows ain't nothing like its more popular air-spitting cousin.
相当武器あるぞ。
Third time's a charm, right? Wrong. Ever tell you how the kid got himself wrapped up in this mess to begin with? catches up with the kid. Hardly had a moment's rest since all this started. Fair to say he's led a hard life, supposing what he says in his sleep ain't no lie. He never knew his old man, but he had his mama to take care of. Frail thing with pure white hair like his.
いや、なんでダメージが高いの。あえて回復せずに行くよ。うわ、お前の炎と俺の炎どっち。
Having his mama's hair did the kid no favors while he was growing up, but he learned to hold his own out there.
Ah, もうダメージ食らってるわ。ダメだ。
School ain't working out, so the kid signs up for a turn on the rippling walls. Make his mama some money. Thanks to folks like the kid, the walls kept Ceylondia safe from whatever's out there. The elements, the Ura, you name it.
Ah, 難しい。
Once the kid done his time, he hurried on home. Turns out his mama's time was done too.
いやーもう。絶対最初の面とかの方がいい。
The city had nothing for him. The money he'd been sending home was nowhere to be found either.
Mo, なんで10時の方がいいよ。
So what'd the kid do? Why, he went right on back to the walls for another 5 years.
うわ。なんでダメージだったの今。あ、敵が反撃するからか。あ、俺は絶対不向きにあれをしますね。
In the history of Ceylondia, nobody's ever volunteered for a second shift on the walls.
敵が苦しみからか反撃するって言われてます。ちょっと 簡単に倒す。危ねえ。どこ？
Wait, where was I? Out there, kid learned to fend for himself. Learn to build. Learn to break. In time, the kid earned good standing with the marshals. They trusted him to scout out farther than anybody.
What?やってんのバカが。ああ、もう惜しかったのに。これそれ見出してもらってさ。あ、これが反撃か。君らの言う。これで20体倒そうぜ。ああ、何やってんのバカ。余計なことやめて。もうほんとに。ボタン分けてくれよ、マジで。なんでだよ。20体いるな。あーん、やってくれ。おい、もう20体やっとるだろ。おい、もう20体やってないか。おかしい。今のは食らった、認めよう。倒しとるし。ここ農館？ここ農館なのかな？こいつらが農館なのかって。
One night, on one of his expeditions, the ground beneath him shuddered, cracked, and split apart. He saw nothing where the world used to be. The calamity happened just like that. All the kid had to work with was his hammer and the clothes on his back. Through twisted streets, he ran with nothing but the city crest and an old stranger's voice to guide him.
ひどはめられた。はいよ、死んだバカがよ。
Will it finally arrived at Ceylandia's vaunted safe haven? He and no one else.
あ、
But then, all they got was more thankless work from a man who ain't even asked his name.
まずいまずい。
Sure, I may be the one who dreamt up the walls and the bastion, but the kid made them real, not me.
Yay.
I'd like to say I'll never forget him, or what he's doing, what he's done. I surely would.
Gets. 押し越えてくる。飲みすぎだな。1時半には寝よう。ちょい飲もうか。 金曜日から石垣島やから計算して飲まんと。
The faith. Mother, this one's for you.
これダメージを受けずに20の敵を連続して倒せいけてるような気するんだけど、ダメなの？スクラップマスケット銃にするか。じゃあハンマーにしとくよ。敵を突きすぐさま投げてとどめをさせる。これいけそうな気がするな。じゃあこのまま不意後にしといて、ないにして
Stick 'em and cook 'em, or the other way around. Makes no difference. We spotted a pecker carrying a shard to Mount Zan.
お、来た。
Welcome to Grady Incinerator, home of the hottest wings east of Ceylondia. In all seriousness, the incinerator was a dump, and it had a problem with peckers.
良さそうやな、不意後。
Blasted things would swoop in and spread trash all around until we started using fire.
うわ、
We couldn't just torch them all at once. We had to use restraint. Keeping the incinerator clean was a paying job, but not a pleasant one.
どうしようか。あ、72ペッカー、もうちょいだな。鍛えたらいけそうだ。これ取って、一回帰るわ。
You'd almost think those peckers like getting cooked. Without an insulated air intake, that thing's liable to blow up on you.
Bad status reference.
Now that's what I call a knife. The cinders kept the city good and warm, made it thrive.
Why なんでここでローリングできんねん。俊敏に12発の弾を外すことなく1体の敵に撃ち込め。デュエリングピストル。バスケットシークか。じゃあ、アーセナルや。
Want to keep the wilds at bay? Pack yourself a musket and a pike. Know how we kept the city clean? We put all our trash and
とにか
gritty
くダメージ
incinerator.
食らっても行くことが重要。
Packers that flock together were easy pickings.
なんでお前ら。いやダメだ、ペッカ逃げちゃう。
Wasn't any other way to teach those Packers some respect.
結構余裕あるんだ。
Who knows why we fought so hard to defend our own trash? Can't rightly call Mount Zan a mountain anymore. There's no more mountains now. So they figure they'll hold out right here, on a slab of mountain the Calamity forgot. There's no place left for the beasts of the wild to go.
いやーめんどくさ。あーもったし。
Good thing for those beasts the Calamity saved leftovers. We only found their little lair because they found themselves a little shard. Those beasts been hoarding all the valuables they could find.
厄介やな。
The creatures of the wild, they've been building a bastion of their own.
Huh? しゃ。
Best thing we can do for those beasts right now is put them down quick and clean. There's only one kind of mercy left these days.
おお、大砲。いや、狙うのむずこれ。これは狙うのむずいぞ。
What the city left behind, those beasts took for themselves. Takes a lot of convincing, and our mortars have to do the talking. Look at it this way. It's either them or us. But if we win, they win too. Our bastion is everybody's gain, not just ours.
Huh? 当たりがあってないのかい。
Unfortunately, there's no explaining that to a simple beast. Those beasts been hard at work fixing up the place.
威力がクソ高えな。おい。パワーショットとかあるんだ。やべ、どっちが正規ルートかわからん。
They've rounded up their survivors, just like we have.
Oh.
They've been searching for cores and shards, just like we have. Maybe they've thought about turning back, just like we have. We just really need their shard. Kid got it fair and square.
してきてんの？
That's the way.
Hey.
He's done what's best for him, don't you worry. Don't you worry.
心配すんな。
We'll all be better off once the Bastion is complete. The Brushers, they moved in shadows, but the Calamity found them. The Conscience, we haven't lost everything, long as we have that.
ピストルを12発外すことなく1体の敵に撃ち込め。1体のっていうのがむずいな。これは砲弾を効かないと。ピストルハンマーかな。
Fix that thing right up, didn't we? Made these goings-on a little livelier. Suppose it's true a little song can put things in perspective.
あ、サウンドモード。
A pair of slinger pistols is just the ticket if a hammer's too slow. A sip of lunkhead liqueur'll toughen you up. Too bad it's like drinking a saddlebag. You'd never guess those things been to the wilds and back. That mortar's gonna leave a lasting impression. The monument's getting better. Zolf sure did a number on it, though. We need an awful big lost and found under the circumstances.
あ、技か。
It wasn't fixed, it was unbroken.
Honeyはある。羽はあるのだよ。 ーシャル行きてえなでもこれも
Just can't get enough of that good home cooking, can he? Knocks him into an uneasy sleep.
外すことなく10発だっけ。なんで貯めてるんだ。
What's he thinking? Let me see if I got this straight. I only heard it once.
うわこれでいけない？殺しちゃうか。はい。
Once there was a normal Ura girl, but she wasn't born in the Tassel terminals like the rest of her people. She was from Celandia.
今こう見たな。
Her folks were orphaned in the war, taken in and raised inside the city, on condition they would never return to the terminals. Ura refugees who came into the city had to stay for life. It was a way to reduce the risk of city secrets leaking out.
Yeah.
Well, you know how it goes. The mama passed away from birthing complications, leaving the girl trapped inside that city with no one but her father. Her father was sharper than a brusher's pike, so he got a job working for the city's mancers. His daughter barely saw him. Her father told her nothing of her Ura heritage. He told her nothing of the Mancers. It's for your own good, he said. She took to studying the arts, learn more through music than history books, gain a knack for strings and songs.
なんでカウンターできねえんだこいつは。
At first, she tried to be like other girls, but her classmates spread word that her father was an Ura trader, selling out the city. One young man stood up for her, or so he led her to believe. He knew much of her heritage, and she grew fond of him.
カウンター取れないんだこの人。
The young man convinced her to take him to her family den to meet her father. Spoke of how he wanted to meet a man from the terminals. When the young man greeted her father in the Ura's native language, her father flew into a fit of rage and threw them out.
いた。カウンター取れない。取れない。取れない。取れない。
The young man never told her that the Ura's native language is not to be used by foreigners. To do so is a terrible insult.
Ah! うわ、まずい。
It was then that she decided to escape. The two of them could flee the city together and go to the Tassel terminals.
絶対この長弾強いよ。ほら。
They would hide inside a garbage bin until it got ingested by a scumbag,
さあ、
then let him slosh on out of the city for disposal.
あと6個もあるんだ。いた。知らんだな。
almost succeeded, but the authorities were already there when that scumbag sidled up to the city walls. The young man had sent the authorities a tip. Told him her father was using her to sell secrets to the Tazzle terminals. She and her father were arrested for treason, but her father got a deal. Returned to work for the Mansers, and she'd go free. Before they parted ways for the last time, her father whispered a desperate plea. Hurry home to the den and lock yourself in.
Damn it, いい加減にしろバカ。
She did as she was told, and deep down underground inside that den, she found a journal written in her father's hand.
うわ、これチャンスだな。近距離攻撃の。近距離攻撃のカウンターのチャンスだな。あと死ねるし。ダメージかかってきたいな。20%。20%以下だよ。死なないように。あ、これはよし。
The next day, the door to the den turned to ash.
マジで計算
The
通り。
girl came up for air, and she saw the calamity all around her.
やりました。狙い通りです。さてと。じゃあ寝まっか。
The menders, they had thankless jobs, the most important kind. The masons, we built the city strong. Now there's only two of us. The slingers, the wilds were their calling.
バスケット銃と攻撃。多分攻撃が鍛えんと無理やから。
Taught him an old trick from a galleon gunner I once knew. Kids ready to get real personal with hammer and musket in hand. Just a couple shards left. The quarry's gotta have one, right?
砲撃な。999出せるかな。クリティカル出してジャストでっていう難しいよな。
Celandia's armada was a glorious sight, and our ship's mortars were unstoppable. At Boundless Bay, our navy put those mortars through a rigorous inspection.
むずそう。
Had to use squirts to simulate explosive impact on the surface of the sea. Choosing targets with those mortars was one of the trickiest parts. Galleon skippers needed to be patient, needed to fire at just the right times. Sounds like the kid's mortar's in tip-top shape.
とにかく範囲。
Too bad about the Armada, but at least one of those mortars survived. The skippers delivered us from the motherland. Wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of those. If you got a thing for heavy artillery, then I've got the place for you. A variety of modifications could be used to enhance the power of a mortar.
Oh, いけたよ。
You could almost see the fireworks over the boundless bay.
クソ楽勝園。
Good thing we got to that mortar before the beasts of the wild learned how to use it.
はい、というわけで次回全クリですね。さすがにこれ次回全クリだろう。マスケット銃ぐらいしか残ってないね。カラミティって何なんだろうな。決められた数の途中引き上げてください。これもできる。あとはマーシャルで10体以上一気に殺すっていうのを頑張ると。反動時により大きな発砲時により大きな反動を起こす。あ、ミリタリーグレードストック。あ、ファスターリロードいらないや。射程拡散だよな。こっちだよな。
Toughest thing about using that gas can is keeping a grip on it.
よし。じゃあちょっと今日はここまでにします。おそらく次回全クリね。明日というか今日かします。